Travel the World of Music with Yu Changfa. Written by Yu Changfa, produced by Philip Shea. Talking about how to play the piano. Modern pianos were just made in the days of Mozart and Clementi. Therefore, the action system of today's hammers was not so complete at the beginning. But playing the piano was not as effortless as playing the clavichord anymore. It is an instrument that can be played both loud and soft. The original name of the piano is pianoforte, which means soft and loud. The original clavichord had no possibility of obvious loud and soft sounds. A new method of playing the piano must be devised. The fingers of the new method should be able to have a relatively large force to produce a relatively loud sound, and also be able to produce a soft sound. At the same time, the beauty of the timbre must exist. The pianist must be able to play music that is not like Haydn, as dramatic as Mozart's magic flute. This requires people with sufficient ability to come up with new playing methods. Last time we talked about Clementi. He proposed a method of keeping the palm flat and putting a copper coin on the back of the hand so that it cannot fall off when playing. But now the way of playing the piano is very different and diverse. It is also useful if you want to play a scale without a big crescendo. Like Horowitz's playing, the previous teacher couldn't believe it. This history, of course, has many contributors. Mozart's works are not entirely for the piano. The first person to compose for the present piano was Beethoven. From the perspective of the playing method of the musical instrument, the famous composer is not necessarily an important person in the playing method. But from the perspective of music history, it is the composers who produce great works who decide how to play. So on how to play the piano, Beethoven is a milestone. Liszt and Chopin are another milestone. However, if we look closely at the progress of music history, we will find that before Beethoven there were some now forgotten composers who contributed to the presentation of the work or the playing of the piano. The so-called Rome was not built in a day, and the same is true in music. J. B. Kramer, 1771 to 1858, no one would think of him today as a man who wrote sonatas and concertos, and he left behind the etudes. A person who plays the piano has to practice these pieces of his music to a certain extent. When we listen to these etudes written by him, we can know that he fills the space between Mozart and Beethoven, filling the space of piano technique and composition style. He is a student of Clementi. His teacher once competed with Mozart on the piano. He once competed with Beethoven on the piano. The difference is that Beethoven praised the opponent very much. When we listen to his etudes, we can understand that it is impossible to play with a copper coin on the back of the hand. Similarly, Beethoven asked his students to raise their hands to play the piano, because that's the only way to play his works.